Dear scholar, my sincere greetings to you. I welcome you to the knowledge series on artificial intelligence in economics and business management. The cast is specifically for management students pursuing artificial intelligence course. Let us now explore that in current modern times and in upcoming future how artificial intelligence is and will be impacting the world economy and business domains. Artificial intelligence has large potential to contribute to global economic activity, but widening gaps among countries, companies, and workers will need to be managed to maximize the benefits. The role of artificial intelligence tools and techniques in business and global economy is currently a hot topic. This is not surprising given that AI might usher in radical, arguably unprecedented changes in the way people live and work. The AI revolution is not in its infancy. We are now developing the advanced applications and the most of its economic impact is yet to be realized. New researches show the impact of AI on the world economy. There are a few common points that various advanced researchers reflect. First, it builds on an understanding of the behavior of companies and the dynamics of various sectors to develop a bottom-up view of how to adopt and absorb AI technologies. Second, there will be likely disruptions that countries, companies, and workers are likely to experience as they transit to AI. There will very probably be costs during this transition period, and they need to be factored into any estimate. The analysis in these researches examines how economic gains and losses are likely to be distributed among firms, employees, and countries, and how these distributions could potentially hamper the capture of AI benefits. And third, the dynamics of AI will cluster countries into wide range of groups with similar characteristics with the aim of giving a more global view. The literature indicates the potential economic impact of AI based on the best knowledge available at this stage. Among the major findings in these researches, the given are common. First, there is large potential for AI to contribute to global economic activity. And the second, a key challenge is that adoption of AI could widen gaps among countries, companies, and the workers. So let us focus on the very first point, that is, there is a large potential for AI to contribute to global economic activity. Let's see. As per the trends, there are five broad categories of AI which have high potential to be used in business economics: computer vision, natural language, virtual assistants, robotic process automation, and advanced machine learning. Companies will likely use these tools to varying degrees. Some will take an opportunistic approach, testing only one technology and piloting it in a specific function. This will be an approach that the modeling refers as adoption. Others might be bolder, adopting all five and then absorbing them across the entire organization, an approach that is called full absorption. In between these two poles, there will be many companies at different stages of adoption and many also not opting for full absorption. By 2030, around 70% of companies might have adopted at least one type of AI technology, but that less than half will have fully absorbed the five categories. The pattern of adoption and full absorption might be relatively rapid at the high end of what has been observed with other technologies. Several barriers might hinder rapid adoption and absorption. For instance, late adopters might find it difficult to generate impact from artificial intelligence. This is because front runners have already captured AI opportunities and late adopters lag in developing capabilities and attracting talent. Nevertheless, at the global average level of adoption and absorption, AI has the potential to deliver additional global economic activity of around $13 trillion dollars by 2030, or about 16% higher cumulative GDP compared with today. This amounts to 1.2% additional GDP growth per year. If delivered, this impact would compare well with that of other general purpose technologies through history. A number of factors, including labor automation, innovation, and new competition, affect AI driven productivity growth. Micro factors, such as the pace of adoption of AI, and macro factors, such as the global connectedness or labor market structure of a country, both will contribute to the size of the impact. Here, if you see, there are 8 possible channels of impact. The first four relate to the impact of AI adoption on the need for and mix of production factors that have direct impact on organizations' productivity. The other four are externalities that are linked to the adoption of AI related to the broad economic environment and the transition of AI. It is acknowledged that these 8 channels are not definitive or necessarily comprehensive, but rather a starting point based on the current understandings and trends that are currently underway. The impact of AI might not be linear, but could build up at an accelerating pace over time. Its contribution to growth might be 3 or more times higher by 2030 than it is over the next 5 years. An S-curve pattern of adoption and absorption of AI is likely a slow start. This is due to the substantial costs and investments associated with learning and deploying these technologies. The impact may not necessarily be the cumulative effect of competition and an improvement in complementary capabilities alongside process innovations. It would be a misjudgment to interpret this slow burn pattern of impact as proof that the effect of AI will be limited. The size of benefits for those who move early into these technologies will build up in later years at the expense of firms with limited or no adoption. Moving to the second point, in the modern times, a key challenge is that the adoption of AI could widen gaps among countries, companies, and workers. How AI influences the countries, companies, and the workers is discussed hereby. Although AI can deliver a boost to economic activity, the benefits are likely to be uneven. AI could affect countries, companies, and of course the workers across globe in different ways. How AI could affect countries? Potentially, AI might widen gaps between countries, reinforcing the current digital divide. Countries might need different strategies and responses as AI adoption rates vary. Leaders of AI adoption, mostly in developed countries, could increase their lead over developing countries. Leading AI countries could capture an additional 20 to 25% in net economic benefits compared with today, while developing countries might capture only about 5 to 15%. Many developed countries might have no choice but to push AI to capture higher productivity growth as their GDP growth momentum slows, as in many cases partly due to aging populations. Moreover, in these economies, wage rates are high, which means that there is more incentive to substitute labor with machines than there is in low-wage developing countries. In contrast, developing countries tend to have other ways, including catching up with best practices and restructuring their industries to improve their productivity. Therefore, they might have less incentive to push for AI. Some developing countries might prove to be exception of this rule. For instance, China has a national strategy in place to become a global leader in the AI supply chain and is already investing heavily. The next few points will help us in understanding that how AI could affect companies in near or distant future. It is possible that AI technologies could lead to a performance gap between frontrunners and non-adopters. The frontrunners are the companies that fully absorb AI tools across their enterprises over the next 5 to 7 years. The non-adopters are the companies that do not adopt AI technologies at all or have not fully absorbed them in their enterprises by 2030. At one end of the spectrum, frontrunners are likely to benefit disproportionately. By 2030, they could potentially double their cash flow, which is economic benefit captured minus associated investments and transition costs. This implies additional annual net cash flow growth of about 6% for longer than the next decade. Frontrunners tend to have a strong starting IT base, a higher propensity to invest in IT, and positive views of the business case for AI. At the other end of the spectrum, non-adopters might experience around a 20% decline in their cash flow from today's levels, assuming the same cost and revenue model as today. One important driver of this profit pressure is the existence of a strong competitive dynamics among companies that could shift market share from laggards to frontrunners and might prompt debate about the unequal distribution of the benefits of AI. The figures on the screen give you a better idea. The next few points emphasize on how AI could affect workers. A widening gap might unfold at the level of individual workers. Demand for jobs could shift away from repetitive tasks towards those that are socially and cognitively driven and require more digital skills. Job profiles characterized by repetitive activities or that require a low level of digital skills could experience the largest decline as a share of total employment to around 30% by 2030. The largest gain in share could be in non-repetitive activities and those that require higher digital skills, rising from roughly 40% to more than 50%. These shifts would have an impact on wages. Around 13% of the total wage bill could shift to categories requiring non-repetitive and high digital skills, where income could rise, while workers in the repetitive and low digital skills categories could experience a stagnation or even a cut in their wages. The share of the total wage bill on the latter group could decline to 20%. A direct consequence of this widening gap in employment and wages would be an intensifying competition for people, particularly those skilled in developing and using AI tools. On the other hand, is the potential for a structural excess supply or a still relatively high portion of people lacking the digital and cognitive skills that are necessary to work with machines. Overall, if you see, the adoption and absorption of AI might not have a significant impact on net employment. So, if the discussed points are consolidated, it's clear that the opportunity of AI is significant and there is no doubt that its penetration might cause disruption. The productivity dividend of AI probably will not materialize immediately. Its impact is likely to build up at an accelerated pace over time. Therefore, the benefits of initial investment might not be visible in the short term. Patience and long-term strategic thinking will be required. Policymakers will need to show bold leadership to overcome understandable discomfort among citizens about the perceived threat to their jobs as automation takes hold. Companies will also be important actors in searching for solutions on the mammoth task of skilling and reskilling people to work with AI. Individuals will need to adjust to a new world in which job turnover could be more frequent. They might have to transit to new types of employment and they likely must continually refresh and update their skills to match the needs of a dynamically changing job market. using historical trends of new jobs created to old jobs and adjusting for a lower labor output ratio that considers the likely labor saving nature of AI technologies via smart automation. New jobs driven by investment in AI could augment employment by about 5% by 2030. The total productivity effect could have a positive contribution to employment of about 10%. To conclude, artificial intelligence has large potential to contribute to global economic activity. AI might usher in radical, arguably unprecedented changes in the way people live and work. Alright, that's all in this cast on artificial intelligence, where we explored how artificial intelligence will be impacting the world economy and business setups. I hope you find it useful. Remain connected for more on information technology and information systems analytics. And remember, faith is substance of things hoped for, and faith is also evidence of things not seen. Have a strong faith in your positive abilities to succeed. Thanks for watching.